so I kind of think of myself in some ways as Indian 5.0. So when I first came here, it was the dream, and I think many of you or your parents kind of lived this journey. The dream was to be like an engineer at HP or IBM, and then, but of course Indians were not articulate enough to be in marketing. So then 2.0 was you actually went past engineering and became a marketeer, but no Indian could start a company. So that was 3.0 is like start a company, but then you can't actually take the company public. You need like an American guy to do that, and take it public, grow it, make it $1 billion company, and so did that. And then I think the ultimate barrier was, of course, nobody had ever owned a sports team. So those were kind of the barriers that, and now the biggest companies in the world are run by Indian guys, our friends. So I think the future for the Indian diaspora is as bright as it's ever been.
What the key to it is always authenticity. And unfortunately, I think what's happened now with this sort of almost diaspora of influence is that it starts to lose its credibility and its authenticity. So I like to tell this story about Billie Eilish, who I've worked with since she was 16 or 17 years old, that she was passionate about fragrance, perfume. And she had a little vial that she carried around with her. She didn't know where she had gotten it. She had gotten it when she was like 12 years old, and it had a little bit of perfume in it. She didn't know what it was, but she would smell it, but she couldn't use it or put it on because she had so little. And during COVID, we said, well, why don't we see if we could recreate this fragrance that you're so obsessed with and passionate about? And we sent it to a lab, and it took some time, and it came back with 7 different versions of what they thought this could be. And we were on Zoom because it was during COVID, and she started smelling them. And when she got to like number 3, she literally started crying. And she said, this is the thing I've wanted to recreate. So we launched a fragrance line for her, which has been a huge success. But I think every consumer today can, not to pun, but can smell the difference between authenticity and inauthenticity.
But cricket is the second biggest sport in the world, and it's relatively underpenetrated in America. And so about 5 years ago, we started Major League Cricket. We're in our 3rd season happening this summer. But we think of it as a way to popularize and grow what we think is a really exciting sport culture in its own form. And obviously cricket is way more than India. But I think for the Indians that live here, we've always felt like we watched Willow TV to watch what was happening on the other side of the world. And so for us, it's really exciting to give it a real home and community here in America.
And what made the Boston Red Sox so special when we looked at it in 2001 was the story that you were talking about. And that story was that the Red Sox had not won a World Series in 84 years. And so if the opportunity came to me to acquire another baseball team, it would have been one thing. Sure, it would be nice to acquire the New York Yankees, but they'd already won 26 World Series. And so the idea, if we could ever do something in Boston that would lead to a World Series, that would elevate the region. And it would be something, because when we did win in 2004, children whose parents weren't able to witness that were buying pennants and putting it on their parents' grave. So, as we all know, sports is really something extraordinary because it really unites people. And nothing unites a community more than a sports team. And so the challenge of actually bringing a World Series to Boston was something that really motivated me and motivated